Hi Leute und willkommen zurück zu Eternal Strings. Wir machen weiter. Ähm, ja, im letzten Part großen bösen Vorboten besiegt. Das Video dazu ist schrecklich, wie ich das zusammenschneiden musste, damit man sieht, da kann man den Panzer vom Gegner abschlagen und da und da und da. Und dann mit Magie drauf und bis er dann tot war. Uiuiui. Ich hoffe, der kommt nicht als Boss, den man irgendwie abfarmen muss. Ich gehe mal zu ihr. Okay, es ist kein Kodex-Eintrag. Das heißt, wahrscheinlich geht es den nicht als Boss.
Hey.
Hey,
How do you feel?
okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Lane will probably never forgive me, for that matter.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. You're like me. It'd ring false. So I'm going to tell you what I'd need to hear after something like that. You did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
You're right. I think that was what I needed to.
You deserve it. You've come so far in here. We've all had to adapt. But you more than anyone. Look. I know you, Brynn. You're made of stern stuff. You've the mountains in your bones. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snowfall. Temporary and it'll
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that doesn't make it less.
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on what we do next? We obviously need to deal with that beast.
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want
Me?
Yes.
The spindle sacrificed everything for us. We could have lost Brynn just as quickly as we lost her.
We didn't, though.
Ich weiß auch nicht, wo ihre Speerarmee war, um da zu helfen.
I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So let's clear the air.
Und warum der da durchkommen konnte, obwohl wir ja ein Gerät angebracht haben, damit die nicht mehr durch irgendwelche Portale kommen können.
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to... We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Just breathe.
We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construction of the tapestry. Our order binds us to always help another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one like Stanild. And to keep their secrets.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Why is the Order so secretive?
We've always been critical to the survival of Taza. Water is life in the desert. And we control the flow of water. The Elders have a secret political chokehold on the kingdoms. The altruistic Norians will tell you the secrecy is so no one can undo our work. But I have my doubts, and so the Order operates in the shadows. I imagine they were much the same here in the Enclave.
the most important thing.
Yes, Sev.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. But there is real good to be found among the Norians. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like Stanild. They're all the same. They see a point of control. Water, information, wealth. And they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil. For some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, it's stagnation. You all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev.
It's hard to have divided loyalties. But you did the right thing in the end, and if you hadn't, we might all be dead. That takes courage.
Sagt die, dessen Mann weggelaufen ist.
Still wasn't quick enough.
I don't know what to make of any of this.
Hört, wo kommt ihr auf einmal her?
I want to believe you, but it's hard in the uncertainty surrounding us.
Hä?
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
Er war doch weggelaufen. Wo kommt er auf einmal her?
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev. You had loyalties outside the band you...
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us. Only time will tell how much damage that...
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Only you can Sev. That considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit and deftness as a smith. And before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you... And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits? Just trying to muddle through together. You will stay. And you will help. We have work to do.
Thank you, Horia.
I'm sure we all have things we want to say. To Sev and each other. But that can wait. Right now, while we're all here together, we need to... But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot, and...
Then let me, as Horia said, help. After I repaired the gate, Stanild took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon, or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate for a friend.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend, he put together a plan.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the underworks. All while he used the gate to... what?
There is a place, deep, deep underground, known as the Source. A feat of engineering unparalleled. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. The thing powering the Veil. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections. And I'm the one who repaired it.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things, then.
Exactly.
Stanild thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the Veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space. Sealed off from the distracted Surge. He wanted to eventually fix things with the help of the Spindle. All glory to his family.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the Source in the hopes of discovering how it worked. He had been feeding information to the spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanild never saw coming.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable, if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the magic that's overflowing.
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables. I'll need Brynn's help if...
Of course. If it...
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the Talon?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite way to disembowel?
No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Brynn. Maybe she could pry some...
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not...
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with that beast.
My people have started calling it the Herald.
Of destruction?
Why not both? As I said, people are on edge.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this herald. We work with the Axle to look into the spindles, and if she feels like it, Brynn has a chat with our imprisoned surge.
As good a path forward as we are going to find.
Das zuerst.
You are hardly in any position to make lofty demands. The Council convened and unanimously stripped you of your role. You no longer hold the privileges of the Eye.
And how quickly did you convene that council? You hardly waited for my daughter's body to cool.
She is dead because of you. Because of your reckless behavior and deception, no less.
Harun, how dare you? Every decision I've made, every action I've taken has been for her protection.
Abandoning her at the Grand Gate was for her protection. We all saw you on the scroll, and that is Khan Arteme to you, Kenrick.
Is this a bad time?
Yes.
No. You're more than welcome at Cassidon's Hold. We wouldn't be here if it weren't.
I came to offer my condolences.
Oh. Thank you.
She was nothing short of brilliant. Everyone in our Weaver band could see it. She dedicated her life to reclaiming lost knowledge of the Arcs. The world is better for it.
She was... exceptional. It's hard to imagine the Enclave will ever recover from this loss.
Then why are you so opposed to giving her the funeral she deserves?
With the Surgeborn swarming Denevron, we can't risk a trip to the Hallowpire Rise.
For generations, every Stanild has received the rite of ashes upon death. Isla will not be the exception to
Could I perform the rite on your behalf?
You? Don't tell me you're a Hallowpire priestess on top of being a righteous...
Skies, do you want a funeral or not? She's our best...
Isla saved my life.
I suppose you do. Fine. For the rite of ashes, you need to burn an object that was sacred to the deceased. As you collect the ashes, you must read a rite aloud to thank the flames for bringing the deceased.
Do you have an object that was...
Isla's most prized possessions aren't in Cassidon's Hold. She had a secret refuge in Dredger's Mire. You're sure to find something.
You knew she was sneaking out of camp.
I knew my daughter better than she. Return to me.
Thank you, Brynn.
geht weg.
That might be Isla's secret refuge. It's actually not too far from Lucia's workshop.
Also es ist das da oben, ne? Da waren wir sogar schon mal. Ja. Ja, genau. What?
Isla dedicated her life to restoring the arcs. Darm's right.
Oh.
We will need to continue her research. But for now, what might she consider sacred for the right? A toy Archon. That's sweet. Darm, do you think this could work for the Rite of Ashes?
It's perfect.
Huh. Isla also had a copy of On the Workings of Archons, marked with annotations, just like Lucia's.
Could be useful.
Wait, I'm losing you.
You hear me better now?
Yeah. Weird. The scry was cutting out.
Strange. At any rate, the book could be useful. Once you've completed the ritual, I'll take a look.
A letter from... the Axel. I should take it back to her.
Es jetzt noch nicht zurückgeben. Okay. Ja, gehen wir vom Gildenbezirk. Das wollte ich gucken. Na, hier liegt nichts weiter. Dann war das eine andere Stelle. Tut mir leid, Jungs. Ich habe keine Zeit für euch. Dass die diese Moves haben, ne? Dass die instant an einen ran dürfen.
Sad to burn such a sweet toy. Now to collect the ashes. Though the flame abates and the ash grows cold, let she who worshipped you rest in eternal warmth.
Beautiful, Brynn.
I
I'm sure Isla is home.
There it is again. The scry is cutting in and out. Dam? Aurea?
We're... Can you hear me now?
You're back.
While you bring the ashes to Cassidon's hold, I'll analyze the scry. Something strange is afoot.
Verarscht. Hast du gerade mein Teleport abgebrochen? Da. Das ist einfach so ein Move, mit dem er instant an mich ran darf. Diese kleine Cutscene zu überspringen, dauert fast so lange, wie den Knopf dafür zu drücken.
I performed the rite, and I brought you the ashes.
Thank you, Brynn. Isla admired you. She would be honored that you did this for her.
It's not how she would have wanted things.
Enough! I know you're grieving. We all are. But you are no longer the Eye. You owe Brynn a thank you. And an apology for that matter. Not only has she gone out of her way to perform the rite for your daughter, but she saved us all from certain death, none of which she would ever have had to do if it...
For my actions, I know. It's all my fault. I should have been there. Not at the temple. At the Grand Gate. I should have stayed. The way she looked at me when I left her there. I'll never forget. I could fill a city with my mistakes. I should have supported her work. I should never have lied to... My regrets will drown me.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
My mother used to say, you can drown in your grief, or learn to swim in it. It is unfair that you lost a child. No matter the circumstance, I am so sorry that happened to you. But now you have a choice.
Darf ich was sagen? Es war eigentlich Selbstmord. Hätte damit nichts zu tun. Sie hat Selbstmord begangen. Ja? Also es wird jetzt ganz komisch dargestellt. Als wenn er sie da zum Sterben zurückgelassen hat. Also sie wollte unbedingt helfen und hat ihre ganze, keine Ahnung, Magie, Lebenskraft wurde dafür selber aufgebraucht. Er hat nicht gesagt, du da, mach. Das war sie ja selber.
You can spend the rest of your days counting the ways you failed your daughter. Or you can dedicate every breath you have left to her.
How?
Just do one small thing a day that would make her proud. Start by helping us finish the work you...
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. But there is one thing. The Ark in your camp. The one she wanted. It's called the Ark of Verdance. An enchantress named Lucia de Crassus built it.
Lucia.
Consider it a thank you.
Sie, da. Du bekommst einen Brief.
You deserve better from come to think of it.
What will you do now?
Take care of my people. Someone needs to. And you?
The arc we followed through the veil. We have no idea what it was doing outside, or even how it got us in here. If we're ever going to stand a chance of...
I wish I could help, but arcs were Isla's. That arc allowed you to pass safely through the tangles, where Surgeborn go to regenerate. If you're going to try to fix it, consider me...
It's too great an advantage to ignore.
Also diese Lucia hat den Arc so gebaut, dass er diesen Schutzschild halt gemacht hat, ne? Und so durch diese Miasma, Nebel, Schwaden durchgehen konnte.
Dom, the interference I'm experiencing during expeditions is... Any idea what's going on with the...
Not yet. The interference is certainly strange, but I'll need more time to analyze it before drawing any conclusion.
As long as it doesn't give out on us completely.
However, I have taken a look at the Spindle's copy of the workings of Archons, and thankfully, and her notes are significantly less paranoid.
About that, Kenrick Stanild told me that Lucia wasn't just tinkering with the arc we followed through the veil. She built it. The Ark of Verdance.
That is quite the revelation. Well,
that was all Kenrick could tell me. Sev mentioned that Kenrick had been feeding Isla information about a failsafe for the sword. Could the Ark of Verdance be the fix she was working on without realizing it?
Yes. Yes! On my side, I dug into her notes. She was working on a way to fully restore our Ark for us. She was so close to a schematic, intricate, elaborate. Solar has the final design ready for you. Essentially, we'll be creating a power core for the Ark. Most notably, we'll need a special part, a bar of shaped coral. This is the final key for an Ark to be functional on its own without a weaver channeling magic in it.
If we had built a power core earlier, could her death have been prevented?
She only made this discovery in the final days of her life. Her research even theorizes that using one's own magic to power an Ark for brief amounts of time could result in death.
Das ist diese Selbstmord. Sie hat gewusst, dass sie stirbt, wenn sie es macht.
She knew she was going to die.
She knew exactly what would happen and did it.
We can't let it be. So, then the Ark of Verdance is our failsafe. Your design will get it running. Where
she suspected it was kept in the Archon's hearth, stored near natural coral deposits.
Okay. Einfach nur das eine Teil. Got it. So, das wollte ich jetzt gucken. Da machen wir die Quatscherei noch fertig mit den beiden.
Brynn.
Found something useful.
A kinetic strand, in fact. The Ark must have torn it from the Herald's.
Think we could weave it?
I don't see why not.
All right.
Then let's get to work.
Er kommt random mit einem neuen...
And we're finished.
How so?
This strand can twist kinetic magic into a tunnel. In battle, you could push debris or enemies through it and send them flying through the air.
Could I jump through? Hey, there's a lot of tall buildings, flying creatures.
You're right.
Oh, lol. Ja.
I appreciate it.
It was terrifying. Wasn't sure I'd be allowed to stay. You didn't get to voice an opinion with the others. Are we?
I'm not upset with you. If anything, cautiously certain that what you did... You'll need to keep proving yourself, of course. But in the end...
I knew something was wrong the moment that thing started talking to me when Stanild wasn't around. It was very focused on you.
Me?
So much so that it said the only way the plan would succeed was if you talked to it. It reeked of trap. I didn't survive a decade around Tarzan Norians without picking up when someone's holding...
But you still took me down.
Sorry. An educated risk. I felt there was nothing it could do, and...
And Stanild wouldn't use what...
The Talon was his deepest secret. Whom would he tell?
Can you tell me more about Stanild's plans for once he went through the Grand Gate?
He was counting on Isla. She was exceptional at protective fields. But even then... No. I don't think he had a real... The Talon had convinced him he'd be able to survive, and... Fool that he was. He trusted it. But... I have a theory. You know how the weather sometimes skews wildly hot and cold?
Right. The Aerolith.
What else do we see on... Exactly. So, it...
You think the Aeroliths are able to affect raw magic?
I do. And in Stanild's private records and designs. I found notes, specifically on Aeroliths with Norian commentary.
You think the Norians were involved in their creation?
It would certainly explain why Tarza had such access to aeroliths before the Surge, if I'm right. This might be the key to making the source survivable.
Fewer tangles means less dead me.
You'll need to head to the Watersmith area of the Institute.
Okay. Aber dann hier noch.
I hate to do this when we're already dealing with something like 7 distinct major crises each day. I've got 2 pieces of bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
The second one.
Excellent choice. We have a stove problem. We use specially enchanted coals to maximize burn time and minimize weight. And we're dead out. And second, the stove...
What?
I don't know. I don't do stove maintenance. I'm a logistics girl.
He's still got bum fat.
Regardless, this is a damn and solar.
I'm not sure they're in the best place right now.
That's why I'm asking you. They both love you. Oria's already sick of salad.
Äh, 175, 100, 275, um das noch zu machen.
Hard to imagine the arc that brought us through the veil is the key to securing the source.
Haben wir noch das Korallending.
The Archon's hearth once more. Wish Isla was here to guide me.
I could assist in her absence.
What the?
Brynn, what's...
Oria, the scry has been compromised by the Surgeborn. Stay off it.
Compromised is such a strong word. I just want to talk. So, what are we looking for in the Archon's heart? I know the Underworks well. It is my region, after all.
Like I would tell you.
Whatever plan you've concocted, it would be better if we worked together.
You murdered my friend.
Technically, I didn't touch her. It isn't my fault she lacked the stamina to follow through on what she started.
Hä?
There's a lot of coral here. I must be getting close to where the Enclave stored shaped bars. Will the Surgeborn know our plan when I pick it up? I guess that's a risk I need to take.
Au. Au. Hallo? Kletter da hoch? Natürlich. Dann halt nicht. Hallo? Mach doch. Das habe ich mir gedacht. Jetzt kommt dieser scheiß Boss. Meine Fresse, du willst nur looten. Warum sie das gemacht haben, dass du während des Kampfes nicht looten kannst, ey. Das ist so trash. Na, geht doch.
Shaped coral. You and I have such similar taste in treasure. Whatever you...
Ich rede nicht mit dir.
The Surgeborn in the Howling Jail somehow has access to the scry.
We know. I can feel it in there with me. It's not pleasant. We need to do something fast.
The good news is, as far as we can tell, it only has access when you're in the underworks. At most, it seems to cause interference when you're above ground. We don't think it can listen in.
Until we can block its presence, best to keep use of the scry to a minimum.
All right. How are we going to fix this?
The reason Aurea can sense the Surgeborn presence on the scry is likely because it's wielding magic to communicate. The same way Aurea's mantle pulls magic from the air to contact you. However, unlike Aurea, the Surgeborn can't pull magic from the air around it. Otherwise, it would be talking to you all the time.
But it can only reach me when I'm underground.
Where the tangles are most dense. We need to cut off its access to raw magic.
That's where the spindle comes in. Thanks to her, we finally have the missing piece to get our escort here running.
It was a failsafe in the case that the source needed to be repaired. The Ark of Verdance will create a safe bubble against the tangles, which would be the natural consequence of any failure of the source.
Just like it did with the Veil.
Exactly. But without the crushing weight that caused it to fail.
So, the plan. We get the Ark to the source, it stabilizes the Enclave.
Or at the very least, starts the process.
If the herald waiting down there doesn't destroy it first, I'll need to take it down. If this plan is going to work.
That sounds dangerous.
It might be a risk worth taking.
We have to. The Enclave is overflowing with raw magic, and this source is clearly the root of the problem. Too many tangles have led to the floods. They allow the Surgeborn to communicate and infect our enchantments. Without the source under control, we will never reclaim the Enclave.
Then that's our plan. We build a power core, then we speak to the Axle.
I'll join you at Cassidon's Hold.
And with this power core, we can fix our Arc of Verdant.
Lately, I feel like I've been running in circles.
Hey, I know things look bleak, but this? Don't let the Talon rob you of it.
You're right.
I always am. Now, I think you've got a meeting with the Axle.